Hey guys, so welcome back to the Greatest Attorney 2. Let's carry on where we left off. Ryunosuke has confronted Kazuma Sogi. Apparently, he may have been present when Inspector Gregson was killed. The tip of his blade was found in his trunk, and, well, he hasn't exactly denied his presence. He's just asking for hard proof, which is ironic, coming from him and his assertion that, well, Van Zieks is behind everything to do with the Reaper. So, let's figure out what exactly has befallen our Nipponese friend. Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Sogi? Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. So the additional person authorized to travel was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Really? He told you this? What? And he trusted you to help him carry it out? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku? Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Oh, that settles it then. Case closed, guys. Kazuma's not guilty. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes. And I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it? We can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day. On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We travelled to Dover, from where we crossed the Channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan. You went to Judge Jigoku's cabin? Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. Boarding house? In Dunkirk. My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the Mark was spared. Really? I mean, he may not have been an assassin, but if his life was on the line, if the Reaper was going to be disappointed enough that he had killed Gregson, surely he'd have tried to take matters into his own hands? Do you really think Gregson brought the assassin along, and then when the assassin gave up, he was like, well, shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Throws his hands in the air as fish and chips go overboard. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger. Really? And end his wretched agent's life. So, Gregson served 10 years, he fails once, and Van Zieks just kills him like that. Not like, hey, we can make this right, there's a second chance, find a different assassin maybe. Nope, he just straight up kills him. Interesting. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
I think he'd be a lot more careful than that, right? But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? Oh, shit, I didn't think about that. I don't need to answer that. I plead the fifth. What? The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. Maybe your blade broke and you're like, well, damn it, I'm gonna get a gun now. And accordingly, I chose to exercise my right to silence on that matter. Wow. You're a piece of work, Kazuma. Vengeance has blinded you. Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. As you wish, my lord. The great sword Karuma has been entered into the court record, the illustrious blade, passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. The prized sword's tip has a small piece missing. We must take immediate action now. Yes, we must. We must take a look at this blade immediately. Unsheath it. Kuruma, the great blade. Such a thing of beauty. I want to gaze on it for hours. Well, there it is. Desecrated beauty now. The tip of the great sword. Broken. It's such a shame. It's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Kuruma's sobs. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen. Okay. Not much else we've gleaned from that. There's the old bandana. Anything else? Is it just the tip of the blade? Anything on the hilt? Doesn't appear to be. Okay. So it's been entered in the evidence. We've inspected it. Only the tip of the blade has any significance. To verify whether Seishiro Jigoku remains unharmed. What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zieks? Pray forgive his discourtesy for drinking from his hallowed chalice while he stands accused of murder. If I were truly the Reaper, I would be able to tell you. I guess he's not the Reaper. Case closed, guys. Order! Order in the court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. Now? Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. If the man can't be located within half an hour, we will have to assume the worst. Really? Half an hour?
Oh no, not Judge Jigoku.
No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who'd only just arrived in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper, wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago. I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake. My lord? I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties. Let me guess, I'm gonna face grave difficulties. And then it's gonna turn out he's alive all along. Maybe the Red-Headed League kidnapped him. Court is adjourned for 30 minutes. Alright, half an hour. We can do this, right? Okay, everyone's dismissed except for us.
Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories. Yeah, when he wants to avoid lying, he just says he doesn't want to answer, I guess.
I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control.
I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were careering towards a foregone conclusion. It's all part of the script. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. And we got a little remix of our Defend Lobby music. Unfortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last hand we can play.
When we say we're out of options, right?
Or rather, one last ear.
Of course. The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us. Maybe Judge Jigoku's inside. We just pull the ear and he comes out. Inflatable judge.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
I swear it's a bomb of some kind. Okay. Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Harley's ear, or Harley's ears, or not? Pull! Here goes then. I'm gonna do it.
Go out, Mr. Naruhodo.
No looking back. Heave! Ow!
That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes? Where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here. Oh, it's like a transcommunicator, is it? It's the felt doll talking.
Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can.
Alright then. I'll put all my strength into it. Heave! Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you?
Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first class cabin area of the SS Grouse. I was going to say, this kind of looks familiar, but it's not the SS Buria. It looks a little more yellowy. The SS Grouse? She left over last night, after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We're currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. Taking a ship to France? And I can talk to you from this distance? Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board this vessel in time. So, you mean you'd already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place? Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Good God, man. You are Herlock Sholmes. World famous great detective. You're actually good at your job. Recited to perfection. Well done.
You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it.
Ow, 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 ow. Miss Susato, gently with this genius's ear, please.
Oh I'm ever so sorry.
If I may, Sholmes. Is that your trusty partner? Ah, there you are, Mikatoba. You may remember that it was, in fact, I who made the connection to the SS Grouse at Scotland Yard yesterday, when we examined that notebook and I recalled my steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound companions utter my name. Oh, I'm controlling Mikatoba, of course I am. Yes, you did, didn't you? We've just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now.
And if we're unable to present any new leads then, I'm afraid to say...
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within half an hour. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful. Until later, then. Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first. Ow, 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 ow. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. Oh, goodness me. Well, well. This is neat. We've got a little investigation phase as well. Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Sholmes, we have but half that now before the grouse puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in the Naples before long. There are times, Mikatoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin. Let us begin. Oh my god, it's you! What? First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow. Are you the same person? Why are you loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor Chicken Stroganoff when you see? Sholmes is his tattoo, and it is Stroganoff, great detective. Ha! I don't think so. Do you see that, Mikatoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that a tattoo? That says Sholmes. I must say, whilst such adoration is flattering naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave now! How distressing. My loyal devotee knows me only by name and not by appearance. And yet, I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Oh, it's his brother, of course. I was just checking. I was like, chicken? Stroganoff? I'm pretty sure the other one was like, beef. Oh, Biff. It was Biff, wasn't it? That's right. Like yourself. He's a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship fleet. How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikatoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigo. There is no one with this name on board, but we know that he purchased a ticket for passage. Ah, you mean Eastern man. He left the ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk. He said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? So Shishiro's realized that we're after him, has he? His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No! I have orders not to let even the mouse inside. Right. Mikatoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so that he leaves the area. Doesn't the great detective see that even sailors have ears, both left and right? Huh. Curses! The plan is ruined. And you have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Mikatoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock? Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner. How can I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man. So, the game is afoot. Oh, yes it is. We need to distract him? Okay. I suppose we start with a mousetrap? This must be a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow. Try it. That sounds like a big mouse in trap. I will bring bucket of water later and put out of misery. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh, really, Sholmes? And pray tell, what sound do Russian mice make? Pee-pee, naturally. Though also quite unconvincing, I readily admit. So go ahead, Mikatoba. Do a pee-pee this time. No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution. Yes, I think we can. This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. Leave it alone. No, I think not. That would never work. I need to concoct another distraction. I mean, maybe it will. We only have half an hour left, right? But maybe over here. Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn off the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing. Can Sholmes lockpick in the dark? Ah! What is happening? Where is the light? Now, Sholmes, now! Oh god. What's happened? Hey! Nobody there. That was a close shave. Did he get it done? Why don't you have something so violently in an apparently empty corridor? Do be quiet, Sholmes. I shall have to think of another approach. Okay. I guess it is the alarm bell after all. That's the way back to the deck. We certainly can't give up on this now. Alright. Let's do it. We only have half an hour, remember? Here goes then. Pardon me in advance. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. You, what are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once. Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me. My world famous... No, as I told you. Now, Sholmes, now. Done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gulping at my brilliance, Mikatoba. In we go. Oh, yes. Whoa. Okay. This is different. Oh, God. 3rd November, SS Grouse First Class Cabin, number 2. What's going on in here? Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Why is he in a hurry? Was it because his life's in danger? Those clothes on the floor there. They're satiers without question. Well, it seems we are just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. That burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling. Okay, let's take a look. Let's start with this thing. That sticks out. Literally. There's a speaking tube here, look. Though it's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose. Or indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Huh? Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ears, do you think? Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering. That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it? Okay. Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. Ice is still here. See here how it... Is something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikatoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy! Chilled drinks. Pardon? Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think? Ooh, of course. There's no cold room anywhere in London but aboard the ship. Well, it is a luxury liner after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikatoba. The sight of you is making my mouth water. I'm not food, thank you very much. I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know? Okay, so the fridge may be aboard the ship. This is the wastepaper basket, look, and there's still rubbish inside. Indeed. Then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of other wastepaper baskets. I sincerely hope only for your work. Here it goes. Ah. Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago. The night before we arrived in London. When I was still aboard myself. Okay, evacuation drill notice, 31st October, following departure from the port of Dunkirk. Something. Ah, yes, there was an evacuation drill. I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once. The evacuation drill itinerary has been entered in the court record. A notice about a practice evacuation to be carried out by the crew of the SS Grouse the night before the ship arrived in Dover was found in Judge Jigoku's cabin. Interesting. Very interesting. Can't access the court record, but we can explore the rest of this room. Geez, a lot of filthy clothes on the floor here. What's that all about? There's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. An overcoat, shirts, a dressing gown, momohiki work trousers, a Tanzan robe, a haramaki waistband. Clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly, Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. Thanks, Sholmes. You know, Ryunosuke hidden one, so they're not entirely unaccustomed to it. Looks to me as if they've been thrown in a heap like that in something of a hurry. Indeed. You could help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I am Japanese. I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. I'd very likely drown in one of Seishiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think. In Dover, I don't know how many Japanese shirts they sell here. We've got the rules. These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. That's familiar? Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and/or travel cases. That's a new one. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you? Oh, you strike me, Mikatoba, you strike me. You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. A trifle. You know what I always say, Mikatoba. There is nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off. I like seeing these two work together. It's pretty cool. Even though we haven't really seen much of Mikatoba, at least in the first game. But in the second, he's made his appearance here and there, and it's been nice to see. Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on the long sea voyages. I found the mixture of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, my dear fellows. I'm afraid it's just me. But no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. Keep tooting your own horn, guys. I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of Great Detectives, aren't you? Yeah, I think it's just the dynamic of Sholmes finally having an assistant that's not Iris, because she's the biographer, but she's no Watson or Wilson or Mikatoba in this case. Right, the trunk. It's a very sizable trunk indeed. Seishiro is partial to all things large, and a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. Maybe it's too heavy to carry when you're in a hurry. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to a speedy escape. Oh, we can't open it, can we? Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different, though. Sadly not. It has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. Yeah, that's gonna take more than half an hour, huh? Alright, there's the wardrobe. We didn't actually look at it. According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe. Indeed he was, and it was of a similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for? It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. You are unaccustomed to wardrobes after all. Really, Sholmes, surely you could just tell me what you said. It's not as exciting. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer. I think I'll just read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Perhaps we shall. Okay. Over this side, looks like we've got a blank space on the wall here. The wall is a slightly different color just here. Do you see? Indeed. What you have observed arises when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Maybe that set of rules over there is actually meant to be here and it's concealing something on the wall? I don't know. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere. I don't think that's him, though. That midriff. You're still here. Able Seaman Stroganov. Hello again. I was beginning to think you'd never materialize. Are we gonna do a dance of deduction here? I feel like we need to. You are waiting for me. Of course. I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before. Poor innocent chicken. It is all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off! Now! Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the bearing of the truth. Kakoi? What's that? I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel at all. Oh, really? He's in the trunk? He's a big guy. And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff. I don't know. Please don't call him Seaman Stroganoff. Just stick to chicken. We've got beef stroganoff and chicken stroganoff. I don't want to hear about no seaman stroganoff, alright? You know exactly where the man is, even as we speak, don't you? How can you... Good gracious me, Sholmes. You mean you worked it out? All of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. Huh. So, would you care to join me for a dance? Of my inimitable logic and reasoning. Nothing would please me more. What is this? Oh. We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Even though the game is afoot. Time is of the essence. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. Right, we're cutting the intro because we don't have the silhouettes of Ryunosuke here. Duh, this is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that is quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikatoba. Then please, do take the lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikatoba. 3 years? It's been 10 years since we last did this, Sholmes, not 3. Why, of course it has. Quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. Keep hearing this line, and it's not helping. All the clues for the case are here. All the clues for Jigoku's disappearance are here. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe, and the answers become clear. So, impress me. I think I can manage that. One of the cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago. Okay, well... The large trunk, I wouldn't say that's the case here. Would I? The glass containing ice, perhaps? Because... I mean, it should have melted, right?
Take that!
Damn, he's even got his own take that. Oh, sick. Ryunosuke, eat your heart out, man. Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious, the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago? Ah. It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind off the refreshments, Sholmes. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Seishiro run from us? Good question. Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan? That's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door, and Seishiro was... yes. 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see... there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. Ah, this is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure would have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here. Almost like there might be a hole in the wall. That's the key to this, Mikatoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. Sorry. I must say I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikatoba. No, quite. But life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we all know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. What's rather awkwardly hiding the traces of a crime? The rules of passage. Take that! Has to be. Here we go again. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded, that frame was originally over here. The shape and size are the perfect match. Duh, you are right. When did the frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen are you, Mr. Stroganoff. I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Grrr. Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikatoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? Gladly. A bullet hole. That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who's been shooting walls? I see, the projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern stranger? So we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, James. I don't either. The other two were okay, but this one, not quite sure yet. My dear Mikatoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle. And I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it. So I'm to glare the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that. He's a pretty buff guy. We love to see buff guys, don't we? Wad of banknotes. What's this all about? I can't examine it fully, but chunky arms.
Take that!
Will present it. What kind of banknotes are they? Rubles? Pounds? Euros? It's almost too obvious for words. Quite. The universal language of the world. Money. And I'd wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishiro Jigoku. Yes? Gah! So, I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. Oh, an exclamation mark. He's looking at the luggage, as always, Mikatoba, in matters of deduction. The furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. Maybe there's a trap door under all the clothes or something, right? Because why are the clothes all bunched on the floor like that? He won't fit in the luggage. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. Could hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We shall let your tapping toes decide, my dear fellow. Where might a certain someone be hiding? A large trunk? Well, I guess it's the only place we can look. He's not hiding in the bullet hole or the wastepaper basket. I mean, I surely wouldn't get any penalties, right? What happens if I do present like the wastepaper basket? Oops. Oh, I do get penalties, damn it! Mikatoba, no games now with my words, were they not? Come on, Sholmes, where's the fun in life without a little fooling around, Fine. Quite right you are. Worth it though. That was a close shave. I'd better rethink that before I'm the fool here. Didn't get any unique dialogue, but nice to see that I do get penalized for getting the wrong answer. Okay. Oh. I didn't realize it was going to be new dialogue. You really think he's hiding in here? Curled up in a ball at this very moment, but as I said earlier, we have no time for games today. Seaman Stroganoff will be suffering neck fatigue before long, I should think.
Take that!
The large trunk. You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah, the truth is, Seishiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interests for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But why is he hiding? We don't even know the combination. Oh, don't tell me the combination is the freaking tattoo on his arm. But how can we? Are we forgetting about the combination lock? We don't know the 7-digit code. Goodness me. The combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about the combination code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. There it is. 5231045. Huh? I can't believe Sholmes makes up a number combination. Now, Mikatoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk? How on earth do you expect me? It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time. Alright. Shows. Helps that that only goes up to 5 as well. Damn. What was S-H-O-L? What would the M be? It was a 3, right? Oh wait, one of them was a 2. This will be the 2 here. Hang on. I can't remember. Review scene. There we go. Are we going backwards or? So it'll be 523045. Oh. That?
Take that!
Sweet. I was too busy spelling Sholmes forward that I forgot it's backwards. That did it. It's open. Seishiro, you had to meddle, didn't you? What does that mean? God, I thought he was gonna, like, pull out a revolver or something. Well, Eugen, you've found me now. Now draw me like one of your French girls.